Hey there. I would love to share a new concept with you. It's called the thought buffet. And I was coaching a client and they were talking about how they have these thoughts that they don't like and how frustrated they get about having these thoughts and they want to know how to get rid of them or how to see them and how to not make it so um, frustrating and kind of take them down this path. And as we were talking, this idea of a thought buffet came to mind and it really helped this client. It's helped me. And so I wanted to share it with you so it can help you too. And really, the bottom line here is think about thoughts like a buffet. All of them are options to you, and some of them are on your plate and some of them aren't. That's just what it is. There's no drama required. And when we take this approach, and I will dive into what this looks like, but when we take this approach, it's so important because it frees us up to not put so much pressure on each thought that we notice in our head, to not have to judge ourselves or kind of cling to that thought and really think about that thought and wonder why are we having this thought. It takes all of that necessity or that feeling of necessity out of it and lets us just plop it off our plate and back in the buffet or grab a new plate in the buffet line. So, what I'd love to do is go into this concept a little bit more deeply so you can see how it comes to life. And then you'll leave this video here knowing how to apply it on your own so that you can use it for you. Okay. So, I'd like for you to imagine that there's this buffet in front of you, all these different dishes. We've got mashed potatoes, we've got celery, we've got steak, we've got dessert, we've got gravy. I don't know what's in your buffet, but we have all of these different dishes. And you're standing in front of it with a plate, like an empty plate. And you're there and you're just kind of plopping different dishes onto your plate. Some that look good, some that you're not maybe you think you should have, some that you didn't really think much about. You just kind of grab because you tend to grab them. They're all sitting there on your plate. Now, imagine you look down at that plate and you see you have this dish and you didn't want it to be there. And you see this dish and you think, oh, I didn't want that. Why is that there? And how come it keeps showing up? You know what? Here I go again. Have the mashed potatoes on my plate. Why are they here again and again? And you start to get really frustrated because you have that dish, and we're using mashed potatoes as an example here, but you have that dish on your plate and you don't understand why it keeps happening, why you keep grabbing it. And so you try to think like, okay, well, what happened? Why did I put the mashed potatoes on my plate? And then you think, well, you know what? I always put the mashed potatoes on my plate. That's what I do. Why am I the person that puts the mashed potatoes on my plate? And you go down this whole thought cascade, thought after thought after thought after thought about these mashed potatoes. And it layers on this frustration and this shame and this embarrassment or anger towards yourself because you've got mashed potatoes on your plate. We think we have to do that. We think we have to analyze the mashed potatoes. But all we have to do is grab those potatoes, either plop them back in the buffet, which you might not do in an actual restaurant, but for the sake of this, you could plop them back in the buffet or grab a new plate. It doesn't have to be stressful. It could just be, oh, I've got the mashed potatoes on my plate. I see them there. I just don't really want the mashed potatoes. Okay, I don't need them. And you could put them back in the buffet or leave them on your plate, know they're there, and just eat around them and not let it be a big deal. So if we take this and we use it to think about our thoughts, the same rules can apply. You have a thought buffet in front of you, you have all of these different thoughts. You didn't put the thoughts in the buffet. It's kind of like they're in the universe around us or the world, the air around us. It's this buffet of thoughts. They're there. And then we grab onto them, we put them on our plate, our brain pops them up in our head and presents them to us. And sometimes we want the thought. Sometimes the thought's a mashed potato that we aren't wanting in that moment. So instead of taking that thought and judging and examining it and making it mean something about us and who we are as a person, we could just notice that that thought is there, put it back in the buffet line, or just let it be there and grab a new plate, which in this case would be, oh, there's that thought. Okay, I see it. It's a thought. It's just a thought. Doesn't mean anything about me. It's just what I'm thinking. And then moving on with the day. What else could I think? How else could I see this? It's okay that I'm thinking this. I'm just having this thought and I can move on. I can have this thought and these other thoughts too, and I can focus over there instead of on this mashed potato thought that I don't want. It doesn't have to be a big deal. It's just the mashed potatoes on the plate, nothing more. And so it's kind of a comical way to think about our thoughts, but it's really helped me because one, it takes this ownership off of feeling like I have to own every thought in my head because it's just the buffet. It's just what's there and what's on the plate. Maybe my brain gave me the plate. Maybe I intentionally put it on my plate. Whatever it is, it's there on my plate. And I get to decide how I think about it, whether I eat the potatoes, even if I don't want them, or I let them be on the plate, or I intentionally look for a different plate. All of those are things I can do. But I can only do them when I stop judging myself for having the thought and let myself be okay with knowing that it's there and it doesn't mean anything about me. So that's what I have for you today. Enjoy your thought buffets, and we will talk soon. Bye.